In Dubai
police has seized more than 400 kilograms of drugs.
In the international drug business, Dubai is a great place to do business from.
Public enemy number one sorts of criminals can operate with impunity and keep their businesses going.
The baddest of the bad.
The baddest of the bad.
Dubai, with its towering skyscrapers and extravagant malls, feels like a city pulled from a dream, grand, luxurious, and built to impress. But beneath the shimmering skyline lies a hidden reality few ever see. In labor camps like Sonapur, thousands of migrant workers struggle daily just to survive, far removed from the city's wealth and opulence. And beyond the glitz, Dubai enforces strict rules on everything from alcohol to social behavior, with consequences that might surprise you. Join us as we uncover 9 things you need to know about Dubai: the good, the bad, and the shocking. Number 9. History of Dubai. Dubai sits along the southeastern coast of the Persian Gulf, right at the crossroads of the Middle East, Europe, Asia, and Africa. Its strategic location has made it a vital hub for trade and travel. As one of the 7 emirates that form the United Arab Emirates, UAE, Dubai is often mistaken for the country's capital, when in reality, that title belongs to Abu Dhabi. The UAE is a federation that also includes Sharjah, Ajman, Fujairah, Ras Al Khaimah, and Al Quwain. While Dubai may be the most internationally recognized city, its neighbors each contribute to the nation's unique identity. Built in the midst of the Arabian desert, Dubai is a city of striking contrasts. Towering skyscrapers and dazzling city lights stand in stark opposition to the endless dunes that surround it. Though it may be known for its modernity, Dubai is not just a landscape of steel and glass. It also boasts a surprising variety of natural scenery, from pristine coastlines to rugged desert terrain. Despite its current reputation for luxury and innovation, Dubai's origins were far more humble. In the early 20th century, it was little more than a quiet fishing village. However, its location along key maritime routes allowed it to flourish as a center for trade and pearl diving. The city's true transformation, however, began in 1966 with the discovery of oil in the Fateh field, located about 120 kilometers offshore. This newfound wealth provided the initial spark for Dubai's rapid development, but it didn't stop there. Unlike other oil-rich cities that remained dependent on petroleum, Dubai made a conscious effort to diversify. Over the years, it expanded into sectors such as finance, commerce, tourism, and real estate, positioning itself as one of the world's most dynamic and forward-thinking cities. Thanks to decades of strategic investment and diversification, Dubai has evolved into a global powerhouse that no longer relies solely on oil. The city continuously reinvents itself, embracing ambitious projects that redefine its skyline. However, while billions have been poured into visually stunning developments, fundamental infrastructure has sometimes lagged behind. A striking example of this issue, once infamous worldwide, was the long lines of tanker trucks used to haul away the city's sewage. Though these images are now outdated, and much of the problem has been addressed, they highlighted how Dubai initially prioritized rapid urban expansion over essential utilities. Even today, the city still occasionally relies on tankers to transport wastewater, though its sewage system is set to be fully completed by the end of this year. With its meteoric rise, Dubai has consistently ranked among the world's fastest-growing cities. However, this expansion has come at a cost. Many areas that were once fertile have been repurposed for urban development, a trend exacerbated by increasing desertification. Between 2002 and 2018, Dubai lost an astonishing 56% of its arable land, more than half, while simultaneously experiencing a surge in demand for food and water. This challenge was compounded by an unprecedented population boom. Between 2004 and 2019, Dubai's population tripled, skyrocketing from 1 million to over 3.3 million residents, with 90% of its residents being expatriates. Faced with dwindling agricultural land and growing consumption needs, the city became increasingly dependent on imports to sustain its population, prompting efforts to enhance self-sufficiency. Number 8. The Darkside of Dubai in Sonapur. Now that we've explored Dubai's geography and cultural landscape, it's time to look beyond the glossy images found in travel brochures. Beneath the city's dazzling surface lies a reality that rarely makes it onto postcards, the stark contrast between extravagance and hardship. You've probably heard the phrase, "from luxury to neglect," and in Dubai, it couldn't be more fitting. Picture this. On one side, opulent five-star resorts, pristine artificial beaches, and world-class restaurants where tourists lounge under the sun, soaking in the grandeur. But just beyond an invisible divide, a completely different world exists, one that operates in the shadows of Dubai's glittering skyline. This place is called Sonapur, a labor camp that many say resembles a prison more than a home. Here, thousands of migrant workers, the very people who construct Dubai's futuristic landmarks, live in overcrowded and Spartan conditions, far removed from the wealth they help create. While social media showcases luxury at its finest, Sonapur tells a different story, one of shared, cramped spaces, grueling work hours, and an unforgiving daily grind. After all, for a city to shine, someone has to bear the cost, both figuratively and literally. Life in Sonapur is a world apart from the luxury of central Dubai. While the city center is home to glittering skyscrapers and lavish hotels, Sonapur consists of overcrowded makeshift dormitories, unfinished structures often lacking doors, windows, and even basic ventilation. In a city where summer temperatures can soar to a blistering 122 degrees Fahrenheit, air conditioning is a rare luxury, and workers are left to endure unbearable heat with minimal relief. But why do so many accept such harsh conditions? The answer is far more complicated than it seems. Most of these laborers leave their home countries, places like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and the Philippines, chasing the promise of a better future. They arrive in Dubai with dreams of earning enough to support their families, pay for education, and build a more secure life back home. However, many soon realize that those promises were nothing more than illusions. A system of exploitation, often described as a modern form of indentured servitude, traps these workers from the moment they arrive. Recruitment agencies operating in their home countries paint a picture of opportunity, assuring them that their journey to Dubai will come with stable housing, food, transportation, and even healthcare. Yet, upon landing, reality sets in. These so-called guarantees vanish, and the workers find themselves trapped in a cycle of abuse and debt. One of the most alarming aspects of this system is how it strips workers of their autonomy. Many have their passports confiscated by their employers as soon as they arrive, preventing them from leaving. Isolated in Sonapur and cut off from the outside world, they have little recourse to fight back. To make matters worse, local labor laws offer them little protection, leaving them vulnerable to exploitation, with few options to escape. Dubai may boast one of the lowest unemployment rates in the world, hovering around 0.05%, but this statistic masks a harsh reality. Losing a job in the city comes with severe consequences. Workers have just 30 days to secure new employment or face deportation. This immense pressure forces many into a desperate cycle where they accept any job available, regardless of the pay or working conditions, just to remain in the country. For these laborers, financial survival is a constant struggle. Many earn just enough to scrape by, saving what little they can to send home to their families. Take, for instance, a cleaner in Dubai who earns an average of 800 dirhams per month, roughly $200. More than half of this income is often sent back to support loved ones, leaving barely enough to cover personal expenses. At first glance, this salary might seem reasonable when compared to minimum wages in some countries. However, Dubai's cost of living is exceptionally high, making it nearly impossible for low-wage workers to afford even the most basic necessities. To put this into perspective, renting a small studio apartment, referred to locally as a one-piece, ranges anywhere from 1,500 to 4,000 dirhams per month, far exceeding what most laborers can afford. As a result, the only viable option is shared housing. On average, a single room is packed with at least 5 workers, each contributing to cut costs. This communal living arrangement allows them to stretch their earnings just enough to afford food, clothing, and transportation, but leaves little room for anything else. The exploitation doesn't end with poor working conditions. Wage theft is rampant, and it's not uncommon to see workers holding up signs, pleading for their employers to pay them what they are owed so they can return home. Some spend years in this limbo, physically stuck and emotionally drained, while the skyline they helped build glows in the distance, a cruel reminder of a prosperity they will never share. For the thousands of laborers in Sonapur, daily life is an endless cycle of exhaustion and hardship. Number 7. Drug laws. Dubai has some of the strictest laws in the world, and tourists need to be extremely careful when it comes to bringing any kind of medication or into the country. The UAE, including Dubai, enforces a zero-tolerance policy on and even the smallest amount can lead to serious legal trouble, including jail time, heavy fines, and deportation. The laws apply not just to illegal but also to certain prescription medications that might be completely legal in other countries. One of the biggest surprises for tourists is that that are commonly used in their home country might be banned in Dubai. Medications like codeine, certain painkillers, and some antidepressants are not allowed unless you have a doctor's prescription and proper documentation. If you're caught with banned medication without the right paperwork, you could face severe penalties. In some cases, tourists have been detained at the airport just for having medications that are legal back home, but not allowed in Dubai. For example, in one case, a tourist from the UK was arrested and jailed for bringing in painkillers that contained codeine. Even though the medication was prescribed by a doctor in the UK, the tourist didn't have the correct documentation, and this led to serious legal consequences. The tourist was held in jail for several months before being released, and it took a lot of legal effort to resolve the issue. Dubai also has strict rules about in your system. Even if you used a drug legally in another country before traveling to Dubai, if it is still in your system when you arrive, you could be arrested. This means that even if you haven't taken any while in Dubai, the fact that traces of a show up in your system during a routine check could lead to a charge of possession. The authorities in Dubai sometimes carry out random tests, especially if someone is suspected of drug use, and failing one of these tests can result in immediate arrest. The penalties for drug possession in Dubai are harsh. If you are caught with even a small amount of an illegal drug, you can face a minimum jail sentence of 4 years. For larger amounts, the penalties are even more severe, with the possibility of life imprisonment or the death penalty in extreme cases. Even carrying drug-related paraphernalia, like a pipe or rolling papers, can lead to trouble, as these items are associated with drug use and can result in arrest. Tourists also need to be aware that bringing drugs into the country, even in very small amounts, is treated as drug trafficking. This includes anything found in your luggage, clothing, or even your shoes. There have been cases where travelers unknowingly carried a small amount of drugs left in their pockets from a previous trip, only to be arrested when it was discovered upon entering Dubai. The authorities don't take into account whether the amount was intended for personal use or not. If you're caught with it, it's considered trafficking, which carries a much harsher punishment. The key thing to remember when traveling to Dubai is to be extremely cautious about what you bring with you. It's important to check the list of banned substances before you travel, and to make sure that any medications you need to bring are accompanied by a doctor's note and the right paperwork. If there's any doubt about whether medication is allowed, it's better to leave it at home to avoid any risk. Dubai is a beautiful destination, but when it comes to drug laws, there is no flexibility, and the consequences of breaking the law can be life-changing. Number 6. Mafia groups. Dubai has become a hotspot for organized crime groups from around the world. Its rapid economic growth, tax-free policies, and strong banking system make it attractive for criminals looking to hide their money or escape law enforcement. While the UAE government has started cracking down on these activities, several mafia groups have already made their mark in the city. The Italian Camorra, a powerful mafia group from Naples, has used Dubai to launder money and evade authorities. Investigations, such as the Dubai Unlocked project, revealed that members of the Camorra invested heavily in the UAE to clean their illegal profits. The relaxed financial rules and high-end real estate market provided the perfect environment for them to operate without drawing too much attention. One of the most notorious criminal groups in Dubai is the Kinahan Cartel, an Irish gang involved in drug trafficking and organized crime. The cartel's leader, Christy Kinahan, along with his sons, has lived in Dubai for years, using the city as a base for their operations. They moved millions of dollars through businesses and real estate, making it hard for authorities to track their activities. However, due to international pressure, Dubai has taken steps to target the group, leading to arrests and possible extradition of key members. Authorities have also found connections between French drug traffickers and Dubai's luxury real estate market. Drug dealers from Marseille reportedly funneled millions into high-end properties in the city, using rental income to protect their money from being seized by French law enforcement. This has raised concerns about how criminals exploit Dubai's property market to keep their illegal profits safe. Because of its fast-growing economy and strong financial system, Dubai has become a key location for money laundering. Criminals from different parts of the world use fake businesses and real estate investments to move illegal money without raising suspicion. Reports show that Dubai has been identified as a major center for financial crime, but the government is working with international agencies to close these loopholes and crack down on illegal activities. Although Dubai has been seen as a safe haven for criminals in the past, authorities are now taking action to shut down these networks. With increased cooperation between the UAE and international law enforcement agencies, several major arrests have been made. Stricter financial regulations are also being put in place to prevent criminals from using Dubai's banking and property sectors for illegal activities. Dubai is working to clean up its image and remove the influence of organized crime. However, the city's appeal to mafia groups remains strong, and law enforcement will have to stay alert to keep up with the changing tactics of these criminal organizations. Number 5. Public displays of affection. One of the most surprising rules in Dubai for tourists is about public displays of affection. While it may seem normal in many parts of the world to hold hands, hug, or kiss in public, Dubai has strict laws about this, and breaking them can lead to serious consequences. Public displays of affection, even between married couples, are generally frowned upon and can sometimes result in fines or even jail time if they are considered too intimate. Tourists often don't realize that showing affection in public is seen as disrespectful in Dubai's culture, where traditions and conservative values are important. The city is part of the United Arab Emirates, which follows Islamic principles, and public behavior is expected to reflect those values. While Dubai is more modern compared to other parts of the UAE, the laws on public displays of affection still apply. In many cases, even something as simple as a peck on the cheek or a quick kiss on the lips can be seen as inappropriate. A well-known example of this happened a few years ago when a British couple was arrested after being spotted kissing in a restaurant. The couple thought they were being discreet, but someone saw them and reported it to the police. They were both fined and spent time in jail for violating public decency laws. This shows how serious the authorities take even small gestures that might be seen as normal elsewhere. Even hand-holding can be an issue. While it is more acceptable for married couples to hold hands, it is still something that can draw unwanted attention, especially in more conservative areas of the city. For unmarried couples, holding hands in public is seen as completely inappropriate and could lead to warnings or fines. Some tourists have shared stories of being stopped by the police and told to stop holding hands, even though they thought it was harmless. The risk is not just about being caught by the police. In Dubai, it's common for residents to report public behavior they find offensive. This means that a simple hug or kiss could be reported by someone nearby, leading to unexpected legal trouble. What makes things even more complicated is that Dubai's laws don't always make a clear distinction between minor and major displays of affection. Even a seemingly innocent gesture can be interpreted as breaking the law. Tourists should also be aware that these laws are enforced in many public places, including shopping malls, beaches, parks, and restaurants. Even in nightclubs, where the atmosphere might feel more relaxed, the same rules apply. The city has a large number of security cameras, so even if someone thinks they're being discreet, they might still be caught. Dubai is a city that welcomes millions of tourists every year, but it expects visitors to respect its cultural and legal standards. For tourists who are used to showing affection freely in public, adjusting to these rules can be challenging, but it's important to do so to avoid trouble. The best advice for visitors is to be very cautious with public displays of affection and to remember that what may seem like a small gesture can have serious consequences in Dubai. Number 4. Prostitution. Prostitution in Dubai is a highly sensitive and complex issue due to the city's strict laws and cultural values. Dubai is a part of the United Arab Emirates, UAE, which follows Islamic law, also known as Sharia. Under Sharia law, prostitution is illegal and punishable by severe penalties, including jail time, hefty fines, and deportation. Despite the legal restrictions, prostitution does exist in Dubai, but it operates in a highly secretive and underground manner. The reason prostitution continues to exist in Dubai is primarily due to the large number of expatriates and tourists who visit the city every year. Dubai is a global hub for business and tourism, and with its luxury hotels, high-end nightlife, and constant influx of visitors, the demand for illegal services like prostitution is present. However, engaging in prostitution or soliciting prostitutes is illegal, and anyone caught can face serious legal consequences. Prostitutes in Dubai often come from foreign countries, with many women arriving from Eastern Europe, Africa, and Southeast Asia. Some of these women are victims of trafficking, lured to Dubai with promises of legitimate jobs in sectors like hospitality or domestic work, only to be forced into prostitution upon arrival. This illegal trade is run by organized networks that operate under the radar of law enforcement, using deceptive practices to recruit vulnerable women. The majority of prostitution in Dubai occurs in specific areas, including certain nightclubs, bars, and hotels. These locations are known to cater to wealthy businessmen, tourists, and expatriates, and while the authorities try to monitor these places, prostitution still takes place discreetly. Some of the high-end hotels and nightclubs have a reputation for being hotspots for this illegal activity. In such places, the exchange between clients and sex workers is often conducted discreetly to avoid detection by law enforcement.
Hi, can I come over tonight?
Dolphin Hotel.
At the Dolphin Hotel, I want you do Chiggy Wiggy full service massage, right?
Oh yes.
It is important to note that the legal system in Dubai is very strict when it comes to enforcing laws related to morality and public decency. Dubai's police force has a dedicated department that focuses on cracking down on illegal activities, including prostitution. Undercover operations are often carried out to catch individuals involved in prostitution. Once caught, both the prostitute and the client can face serious legal consequences. Prostitutes are usually deported after serving their sentence, while clients may face jail time, fines, or deportation, depending on the severity of the offense. Another factor to consider is that in Dubai, even being associated with prostitution can lead to legal trouble. For example, renting an apartment to someone who is later found to be involved in prostitution can result in the landlord facing legal action. Hotels and other businesses that knowingly allow prostitution on their premises can also face penalties, including fines and the possibility of being shut down. In some cases, women who are working as prostitutes in Dubai have reported facing exploitation and abuse from their handlers or clients. These women often have very little protection, as they are operating illegally and cannot report mistreatment to the authorities without risking their own arrest and deportation. This creates a dangerous environment where sex workers are vulnerable to physical and emotional harm. Dubai's government has made efforts to address human trafficking and prostitution through laws and campaigns aimed at reducing these crimes. The UAE has signed international agreements to combat human trafficking and has introduced laws that specifically target traffickers. In some cases, women who are found to be victims of trafficking are provided with support services and assistance in returning to their home countries. However, the underground nature of prostitution makes it difficult to completely eradicate the problem. Number 3. Censorship and restrictions on freedom of expression. One of the most surprising aspects of life in Dubai is how heavily the internet is regulated. Many websites that are considered normal in other countries are blocked in Dubai. This includes websites that discuss politics, certain religious beliefs, or anything that criticizes the government. Even social media platforms are monitored closely, and people can get into serious trouble for what they post online. Sharing opinions that might be seen as offensive or critical of the UAE government, its leaders, or its policies can lead to arrest, fines, and deportation. For instance, in one case, a tourist was arrested for sharing a negative review of a local business on social media. While in most countries this kind of feedback would be considered normal, in Dubai it was seen as defamation, which is a serious offense under their laws. The tourist was fined thousands of dollars and spent time in jail before being deported. This shows just how serious the government is about controlling public criticism, even if it seems like a small issue. Tourists also need to be careful about what they say in public. Conversations that criticize the government, the royal family, or local laws can be overheard, and if reported, can lead to trouble with the authorities. Even making jokes about the government or Dubai's laws can result in legal action. There have been cases where tourists have been arrested for making comments that were seen as disrespectful, even if they didn't mean to cause offense. Another area where censorship is strong is in the media. Newspapers, television channels, and radio stations in Dubai are all closely monitored by the government. Anything that might be seen as offensive or politically sensitive is either heavily edited or completely banned. Even international news channels that are available in Dubai often have parts of their broadcasts censored if they cover topics that the government doesn't want the public to see. Censorship also extends to books, movies, and music. Books that discuss sensitive topics like religion, politics, or social issues are often banned or heavily censored. Movies shown in Dubai's cinemas are edited to remove any scenes that contain nudity, sexual content, or anything that goes against the cultural values of the UAE. Even music videos played on television are often censored to ensure that they don't show anything that could be seen as inappropriate. Tourists need to understand that Dubai's laws are designed to protect the cultural and religious values of the country. While the city is welcoming to visitors from all over the world, it expects people to respect its traditions and laws, including those that limit freedom of expression. For tourists, this means being extra cautious about what they say, share, or do, both in person and online. Even a simple post or comment that might seem harmless could lead to serious consequences if it is seen as breaking Dubai's strict censorship laws. In addition to online and public speech, photography and video recording are also restricted in Dubai. Taking pictures of certain government buildings, military sites, or even people without their consent is illegal. If someone is caught taking a photo that is considered inappropriate, they could face a fine, have their camera or phone confiscated, or even be arrested. This is especially important for tourists who want to capture their experiences in Dubai. Knowing where and when it's okay to take photos is crucial. Number 2. Strict alcohol laws. One of the most misunderstood aspects of Dubai for many tourists is the strict control over alcohol. While alcohol is available in the city, the rules around buying, drinking, and being under the influence of alcohol are very strict and can lead to serious consequences if broken. Tourists often assume that because Dubai is a popular destination for parties and nightlife, drinking is allowed everywhere, but this is far from the truth. Understanding Dubai's alcohol laws is important to avoid getting into trouble during your visit. First, it's important to know that alcohol in Dubai can only be bought from licensed establishments. This means that tourists and residents can only buy alcohol from certain hotels, restaurants, bars, and clubs that have the proper licenses. These places are usually located in areas that are frequented by tourists, but not every bar or restaurant will serve alcohol. In fact, alcohol is completely banned in public places, including beaches, parks, and streets. Drinking in public spaces or being caught carrying alcohol outside a licensed venue can result in a fine, arrest, or even jail time. Another important rule is that only non-Muslims are allowed to buy or consume alcohol in Dubai. This is because alcohol consumption is against Islamic law, and Dubai follows the traditions of the UAE, which is a Muslim-majority country. Tourists who are non-Muslims can drink alcohol in licensed venues. but they must be careful not to take alcohol out of these places or drink it in unapproved areas. Being seen with alcohol in an unlicensed space is illegal and can lead to punishment. Tourists should also be aware that in Dubai, you need a personal liquor license if you want to buy alcohol from a store. Residents of Dubai are required to have a license to purchase alcohol from specific liquor stores, but tourists are not allowed to get these licenses. This means that tourists can only drink alcohol in licensed bars, hotels, and restaurants, but cannot legally purchase alcohol to drink in their hotel room or elsewhere. Attempting to buy alcohol from a store without a license could lead to trouble with the authorities. One of the biggest risks for tourists is the law about being drunk in public. Even if you have been drinking in a licensed bar or hotel, stepping outside while under the influence of alcohol can get you arrested. Public intoxication is illegal, and the police can stop you if they believe you are drunk, even if you are simply walking down the street. Many tourists have been arrested for this, often without realizing that they were breaking the law. Even if someone is not causing any trouble, just being drunk in a public place can lead to arrest, a fine, or time in jail. There are also strict rules about drinking and driving in Dubai. The legal limit for alcohol in the bloodstream while driving is 0, meaning that even a small amount of alcohol is enough to get you arrested for driving under the influence. This is one of the strictest drink driving laws in the world, and the penalties are severe. If you are caught driving after drinking, you could face a fine of thousands of dollars, jail time, and even the confiscation of your car. The zero tolerance policy means that even if you think you're okay to drive after a drink, it's not worth the risk in Dubai. Additionally, tourists should be aware that certain events in Dubai are completely alcohol-free, even if they are held in places that usually serve alcohol. During the holy month of Ramadan, for example, alcohol is often not served in public places, and many bars and clubs will either close or stop serving alcohol for the duration of the month. Tourists who visit Dubai during Ramadan need to respect these traditions and avoid drinking in public, even if they are used to being able to drink freely in other countries. Number 1. Cost of living. While many people are attracted to Dubai because of the promise of tax-free salaries, the high cost of living is often overlooked. Dubai is one of the most expensive cities in the world to live in, and many expatriates find that their day-to-day expenses add up quickly. From housing to schooling, healthcare, and food, the costs can be higher than expected, making it challenging for some residents to save money. One of the biggest expenses for people living in Dubai is housing. Rental prices in Dubai can be very high, especially in popular areas like downtown Dubai, Dubai Marina, and Palm Jumeirah. Even in less central areas, the cost of renting an apartment or villa can take up a significant portion of your monthly income. Many people in Dubai spend close to half of their salary just on rent. If you want to live in a good location with access to shopping malls, schools, or public transportation, you might have to pay even more. Some expatriates choose to live further from the city center to save money, but this often means longer commute times and fewer amenities. On top of rent, there are other housing-related costs that residents need to consider. Utility bills in Dubai, such as electricity and water, can be expensive, especially during the summer months when air conditioning is used all the time to deal with the extreme heat. Cooling your home can add a lot to your monthly bills, and for people living in larger homes, the cost can be even higher. Additionally, some apartments or villas come with maintenance fees, which tenants need to pay on top of rent. Schooling is another major expense for families living in Dubai. Unlike in some countries where education is free or heavily subsidized, schooling in Dubai can be very costly, especially for expatriates. Most families send their children to private schools, as public schools are mainly for Emirati nationals. The cost of private school tuition in Dubai can range from thousands to tens of thousands of dollars per year, depending on the school's reputation and curriculum. Many expatriates who come to Dubai for work are surprised at how expensive it is to provide their children with a quality education, and this cost can be a significant part of their budget. Healthcare is also an important factor to consider when living in Dubai. While the city has excellent hospitals and medical facilities, healthcare services are not cheap. Although many employers provide health insurance for their employees, this might not cover all medical expenses, especially for dependents like spouses and children. Some expatriates need to pay for additional insurance or cover certain medical costs out of pocket. The cost of visiting a doctor or specialist, along with medications and treatments, can be quite high, especially without comprehensive health insurance. Having a good health plan is essential in Dubai to avoid unexpected medical bills. The cost of everyday living, such as groceries and eating out, can also be more expensive than in other countries. While there are supermarkets in Dubai that sell affordable goods, many expatriates prefer imported products, which come at a higher price. This is especially true for people from Western countries who want to buy familiar brands. The cost of dining out can vary, but restaurants in popular tourist areas or upscale neighborhoods can be very expensive. Even fast food can cost more in Dubai compared to other cities, which adds up if you eat out often. Transportation costs are another consideration. While fuel is relatively cheap in Dubai, the cost of owning a car can be high due to insurance, registration fees, and maintenance. Many people in Dubai rely on private vehicles to get around because public transportation options are limited in some areas. For those who don't own a car, taxis and ride-hailing services like Uber or Careem can become costly if used frequently. Even though the Dubai Metro is an affordable option, it only covers certain parts of the city, and many residents need to rely on other forms of transportation to reach their destinations. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.